welcome to this very
Switch the
stupid
thing
episode.
on. Switch it on.
Shit. You want me to turn on the lights?
Turn on the lights. Turn on. We should have got Stacey.
We like to do it with the
We
lights
should have
on.
got Stacey. It would be such a cool episode if
Wait,
we
who's
all had
Stacey?
masks.
Who's Stacey?
I mean Cynthia.
Cynthia is our guest for today.
I am fucking up. I'm so sorry, Cynthia.
Calm down.
I'm so sorry. Oh my god. Cynthia, I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Anyways, welcome to the Halloween edition of ThinkShack.
It's probably like Archer, the cartoon. Like that guy gets everyone's name wrong.
I'm trying to introduce the show, my good sir.
Okay, Archer.
So, in case you didn't know, this is Jean.
Who even calls him Archer? It's Sterling.
Can you introduce yourselves
Sterling Archer.
before we start talking about
Sterling.
Archer?
What?
Oh, this
Introduce
is
yourself.
Ramsey, sorry.
Jesus
And this is the Purge Shack because we're wearing Purge masks. And it's the Halloween special, so enjoy this.
So you guys want to argue about Archer? Let's go. This is gonna be a very freestyle episode. We'll touch on some of the topics. I'm sorry, I sound like
Trevor
a
gave us a brief, but it's so fucking political.
Who wants to argue about Archer?
You two.
Who?
Where did that come from?
I don't know where it came from, but I know where it's going. You guys are gonna argue.
Go again.
You're gonna make a point about Archer.
I just said Sterling because that's how Mallory calls
Yeah, that's how his mother.
But everybody else calls him Archer.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't see
Sterling.
shit.
Sterling.
Mallory.
So
Mallory
what's-
never calls him Archer.
Those two have a weird relationship, though, don't you think?
He
like-
has an Oedipus complex.
With
He
his
wants
mom?
to
You
fuck
think he's
his
sexually
mom,
attracted to his? Oh my god.
but yeah, he gets a boner for his mom.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's the perfect way
I
to
mean,
start
that's
a
what
ThinkShack
Pornhub
episode.
assumes everyone is.
How
This
would you
porn game
describe
will make
Archer? You
come
see,
in
like
5 minutes.
the way movie reviews are like Rotten Tomatoes and stuff.
Mhm.
Like if you were to describe the lead character Archer, I would describe him as
Well, I would
somebody
say he's
with-
partly at least a megalomaniac because he
yeah,
does
with childhood traumas
childhood traumas, yes.
because of the nature of his.
I think he has a
job.
narcissistic mother. I think Mallory qualifies
Mallory's
as
a narcissist, and I think he feeds into that. He likes that.
Let us remember
He's a
that
toxic-
some
he's
of
a
us
toxic
have
person.
never watched
This is
Archer.
Jean trying to join this conversation.
No,
He
I'm
feels
just
so
saying-
left out in
I'm
the
just
cold.
saying. Remember, guys, we're actually
Man.
recording. We're actually recording. We're not talking about Archer because that came out of nowhere.
No, but it's an interesting topic.
Nobody knows Mallory.
Actually,
Who's
some of the
Mallory?
audience might have watched the cartoon. Anyone with a Netflix account knows about Archer.
Anyways, let's talk about Halloween.
Okay.
What is
so
the
where
highest?
did the holiday come from? I happen to know a few facts.
It's from a Celtic tradition, from what I read.
Yes,
This is where we go to Google.
it's actually called Samhain, but it's pronounced Samhain, but it's spelled Samhain. So
Or something. but-
the Samhain festival is a pagan religious celebration to welcome the harvest at the end of summer, when people would light bonfires and wear costumes to ward off ghosts. For me, that kind of just like trailed off. I'm like, okay, fine, we harvested. It's the end of summer, so where are the ghosts coming from? Do ghosts particularly like the end of summer? I don't understand that.
They
Like,
like maize because it's like. the
sometimes I
harvest
try
time.
to understand the logic behind certain cultural practices, and I'm like, I don't get it. Why are the ghosts?
Like which one, for example? Other than that,
Like, for example, the one we were talking about this morning, circumcision.
yeah,
Circumcision as a
it's
rite of
a
passage.
weird rite of
What,
passage.
who just got up one day and was like, you know what's gonna make you a man?
cut
if
the
I
dick
cut
off?
off your foreskin.
Pull the top off. It's like a convertible.
Why? We don't cut off other bits of ourselves, so why do we want to cut off this bit? You know, like you don't just go and clip a bit of your earlobe and be like, yeah, now you're a man. So why the hell do we do the foreskin?
But it's very interesting, like the rites of passage and like. Oh, it sounds
Now
very
that you
good, to be
mentioned the
honest.
foreskin, but different cultures choose different things. Like Luos remove the tooth, right?
That's also pretty wacky because like why?
The others like Maasai's elongate their earlobes or something. Like
Pretty
you,
wacky,
Actually,
right? Like they like put like
So
really
it's-
large circles in the
so-
earlobes. Just like
so your
just gets-
point is actually contradicted because it's not all about the foreskin. Like that's just a part of
Yeah.
people's culture when it comes to
To
initiation.
be entirely honest, this is like the cultural practice I am most familiar with. But like, if we decide to expand the concept, I do find like most rites of passage rather weird. It's like, we're gonna do the wackiest, most unreasonable thing for you to prove that you're a man, whether it's removing your front teeth or
Like
elongating
kill a
your
lion.
earlobes.
There's an interesting one from South America where you put
Uh-huh.
put on gloves full of what are these called?
No,
Bullet
you
ants.
put your
Bullet
hand
ants
in
a
the
glove.
nest of
No, not in the
bullet.
nest. It's gloves specifically made with bullet ants.
So they
Sewn
put the
into
bullet
them.
ants in there. And then,
Yeah.
like, this thing is, bullet ant has one of the most
I
excruciating,
think it's the most
painful
painful
stings
sting. There's actually
in the world.
There's actually a scale for this, like to show how painful insect
Yeah.
bites are, and then the bullet ants.
It's like
are
a
at the
Richter
top.
scale for pain.
For pain, can you imagine? And then you
Yeah.
have to put on the gloves and then stay with it for like I think it was a few hours or something.
Yeah, exactly. Just stay there. Like, probably
Like,
by the time
how will that help you in your life? How do you become a man by holding bullets?
Okay, remember the conversation we were having about pills, like MDMA and all that stuff?
Mm-hmm.
You're the one who said that when you get used to this kind of stuff, LSD, whatever, it kind of strengthens your mental strength. So that if you're like poisoned or something,
Wait,
you're
where did you
able
come up
to
with that,
like
Sean?
wiggle throughout.
No,
of it.
I was thinking.
So maybe sometimes human beings need a challenge. That's why you go to the gym. Like, you're not in a situation where you're tilling a farm or something that makes you like physically fit. You actually have to go out of your way to come up with a ritual that will strengthen your body. And I feel like sometimes people come up with these rites of initiation because it kind of exposes you to what you need to be exposed to become who you should be.
One of the conversations we were having this morning was that despite the ridiculousness of it all, perhaps these rites of passage were necessary because they marked a clear line from boyhood to manhood. And today, in the modern day, because everyone is mollycoddled, you can live with your parents until whatever age. You're circumcised like 2 years old. You know, like I was circumcised as a child. So there's no like clear rite of passage in the modern day. And so like men aren't as manly anymore because they never have to go through the tortures. Like I think that like kind of rhymes with what you're saying.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying, because it's not about the cutting, it's about the experience.
So what I was
So
saying,
if you're just gonna remove my foreskin and like the whole reason behind it was supposed to go through some kind of excruciating experience that will tap into your you know, your deep subconscious, like you're meant to be a man, you know. This is what manhood looks like, being a man in this society. So much is expected of you. Like, I feel like you need to go through it so you realize, like, it's like going through that pain. It's like the walking on fire thing. Call of Fire.
Call of Duty?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
No, Call of Duty.
Coals.
Like
Hot
walking
coals,
on hot coals. Like the
Yeah.
goal is the end. It's not the pain you're feeling at the time. Like you're trying to prove, like, if by the time I walk through this hot coal, I'll be a changed person.
This kind of opens up a wider conversation about rites of passage in general. It's like, okay, there's this one that marks the passage from boyhood to manhood. But rites of passage are pretty, like, what's the word?
arbitrary.
Not arbitrary per se, but pretty like they're everywhere. They're widespread. They're ubiquitous. So, for example, everybody has this rite of passage where they first move out of their parents' house and start to pay their own bills. That's a rite of passage. Everybody goes through a first heartbreak. That's a rite of passage. It probably takes you from puppy idealistic love to a little more practical approach to how relationships should be. Everyone has a rite of passage where they are first conned or robbed in broad daylight, and so on. I'm sure there's so many rites of passage that we go through every day in life that just like wisen us or jade us, make us even more jaded.
Character development, as they call it in Nairobi.
I think character development is the perfect word for it. It's like,
So why aren't you guys looking at it as this rite of passage is preparing you for those unexpected?
Well, I don't see how putting your hand in a thing with bullet ants is going to prepare you for paying taxes.
not to mention it's
I mean,
not
it's
unexpected.
not-
I
I
mean,
mean-
kind of expected
Yeah,
to do this.
I mean, it's not that it won't happen to you, but it won't, the heartbreak won't come as a shock because the rite of passage actually exposed you to a certain, like you're saying, there's that scale of pain and everything. So it's, I mean, you'd have already gone through something probably of the same intensity as what you're going through when you're going through the character development. Like if you're just fresh and you've never gone through any form of pain, that would probably like really set you off. But if you go through the rite of passage, I feel like they put it at that age where you're just in between making like decisions.
Yeah.
Well, like you're 13, going below, your life is pretty much mapped out for you. But like when you're 13 going on, you start to have conflict of interest. Am I going to make this choice or not? And nobody's going to be there to tell you which choice to make. But some of the choices are going to be like really painful. And so if you do go through the rite of passage just before you get to this phase of life, it exposes you to an amount of pain where no matter the choices you make, you might have the strength to actually handle it, because
the stoicism, for the most part, it's like that strength of will, strength of spirit.
Yeah, because you went through something and it tapped into your ability to handle shit.
Do you think that pain and struggle are necessary for human
Yes.
life? Like, if you were to have an ideal world where everybody could be happy and never
Necessary
feel
for
pain or
human
struggle,
life?
do you think that would be a better world where there was no suffering at all?
No.
Do you think suffering is necessary
I
for
think,
for us to feel fulfilled?
I think
or
it's
for us
what
to-
being human is about. You can't appreciate something good if you don't know what
All right,
bad feels
let's take
like.
it practically. So let's look at history, for example.
Mhm.
Africans, before, were really comfortable. We have great weather, the land is fertile and everything.
I mean, we had wars amongst us.
Yeah, we had wars, but life was good in general. We didn't have enough hardships for us to develop better weapons. And you see what happened is, like, the colonial powers came and took us over because they had enough hardships with the environment and each other and everything.
Yes.
To the point where they had to develop the weaponry
Yeah.
that it could defeat us easily.
Yeah.
Because it was all about firepower.
Like for example, England,
And
yes, they
strategy,
became like
military
a
strategy.
whole powerhouse. They conquered half of the world. But do you know, even them at some point, they were attacked by the Vikings.
I mean,
I mean, when the
technically-
Vikings attacked them is when they realized, why are we so vulnerable?
Technically, England is a mishmash. So we've got the Celts, the Welsh, the English, the Scots. Before we had the Celts, and then the Vikings came in, and then they kind of like intermarried, and then we had like the Saxons and whatnot. And then the Romans came in, and then they conquered England. So we have like Hadrian's Wall, and then
came
we
in
had
and
like
conquered.
Norman England and whatnot. And then from there, it just like became whatever the fuck we know it today. So England has been conquered several times.
I mean, for
a
them,
country that has conquered several other countries, it's been conquered several
They know a
times.
thing or two about being conquered.
They know a thing or two.
They just wanted
about
to
being
export that
conquered.
ceiling to Africa and
I mean, I feel like
it's
even
when
us-
you smoke some really good weed, it's
You're
like,
like,
I
I
gotta
want you to
share
try
this.
this. Yeah.
I feel like even us, it's just a phase that everybody else went through. I mean, this brings me back to this whole King Charles trip. What the fuck are we just demanding apologies
The one where they
for?
had a red carpet on the
I mean,
farm.
I mean, like, people are
Right.
demanding for an apology. I mean, even England went through the
Wait,
worst
what-
before
what's-
they
what's
became
the-
who they
what the
are.
people-
That's a
what happened
controversial
exactly?
one.
Yeah, but
I'm
what the
just
people think
saying.
what happened? What happened with was it Prince Charles? So what exactly is what
King
happened?
Charles,
King Charles,
right
yeah.
now.
What's the story?
I think he was invited by the previous
First king I've heard
administration.
of in England in a long time.
I mean, Elizabeth was
It's
pretty
always a
much there
queen.
for like generations,
Yeah,
and I feel like that's why the royal family has managed to stay relevant in England than other European
Because of Elizabeth's
kings. Yeah,
work.
because of Elizabeth's long reign. I feel like if there was somebody else coming in between too early, it would kind of crumble. But because the monarchy is basically focused on the head monarch, like she's the whole thing tying up, or he's the whole thing tying up everything.
I don't know
So-
if
so
y'all
she-
have watched
she-
this
she
series
came
called
in-
The Crown on Netflix.
Yeah, I do watch it. So she
Yeah.
came in when the monarchy was still very relevant in Europe,
Mhm.
and she's reigned for so long.
Really good PR
And
on her part.
on the institution, I feel like it's the institution.
The institution
that makes
has really
the,
good
the
PR.
decisions more than
So,
the
so
family.
then, King Charles, what did he do?
Oh, sorry, we've digressed from the topic. Okay,
As we
so
always
King
do.
Snoop's
Charles.
dream.
So-
Just
so-
drop that Easter egg
Snoop's
for
dream is- Snoop's
anyone
dream
who
is
knows
the-
what
the
Snoop's
weed.
dream is. But
It's the
no.
weed.
So
We
King
don't need to hide it
Charles.
from you.
So King Charles, he was, I think, invited by the previous administration, and he's honored the visit. The last time a monarch came to Kenya was 1991 or 2. That was when Elizabeth came here.
Like when Moi was
So
anything.
I feel like many decisions that the royal family makes is a tactic. It's always like
It's
a
always a
chessboard.
PR
It's always a
operation.
chessboard with them. Like when they make a move, it's not in vain. Like they always have an end game to it.
I agree with you
So-
because there was so many things that King Charles did that I was like, this was
Yeah, I
calculated.
feel like
Like
they
what?
look
For
desperate.
example, when King Charles was addressing some audience, I don't remember where, he started by speaking in Swahili. He was like mabwana na
Mia
mabibi
bibi na
and then
mabwana.
he ended with niaje. So this was
Niaje.
just like to endear him
like,
to the
eti niko na
masses.
furaha, sijui kuwa-
During the same speech, he also said that Britain.
Who says my baby number one? What the
shit,
fuck?
like for
I
it,
mean,
you
like,
see the crowd.
ladies and gentlemen, like this was probably like a really, 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 really foreign student who learned Swahili
Yeah,
at uni and has
like
never
using the
been in a
oldest
Swahili-speaking
textbooks.
country in his life.
He's using the oldest textbooks. It's like Hakuna Matata.
Exactly,
Nobody
or
says Hakuna.
Jambo. Like, if you ever want to know someone's the tourists, they come to say Jambo. Who says Jambo?
I say Jambo all the time though.
No, fuck off. That's untrue.
I do though.
That is untrue.
I
Oh my
say Jambo all the
god.
time.
I will watch you for the rest of this fucking month.
Not
If
now,
you don't
though.
say
I
Jambo
don't say it to
one
you.
time.
No,
I say it to
Kenyans
people.
say Sasa,
Yeah, Jambo is not a
Mambo,
thing.
Mambo,
I say it like that.
Habari,
Yeah.
Nobody says that.
Niaje, probably.
Niaje,
Probably.
Vicky, hey,
No,
bro.
but he tried
Yeah.
to talk about Niaje.
Even hey.
That's a relevant one.
But here's the thing. So part of it, during the speech, he also apologized and said that Britain feels apologetic
What?
for all the
Atrocities.
it has committed against the country. And then there was a point where he was ordering
They've been feeling
samosas
apologetic
like
for a
a
minute.
regular person. You know,
But what-
he
Okay,
wore older
before-
shoes than Ruto.
Before we leave
There's that one
the language thing. In the series The Crown, you see, Charles is the Prince of Wales, right? Like the next person, the next monarch in line is usually given Wales. I don't know
I
why.
also just
Okay.
have to mention, I love how complicated the line of succession is in royal families. It's like male son, the male
They
child.
removed that.
Oh, that's removed.
That's
And
removed.
first
So
cousin,
if
and
like
then I don't know
Charlotte,
your fucking brother, and like
Like-
it just keeps going. And
Sounds like
like
porn
Charlotte
now,
right now is
stepsister.
is in line to succession ahead of Louis.
who's
Okay.
Charlotte and
Okay.
who's Louis?
So
Yeah, you know-
William
no
is the
fucking
next
idea.
in line, right?
William
Yeah.
is Prince William. I know
Prince
that.
William. He has 3 kids: George, Charlotte, and Louis, in that order. So George is next in line after
William.
William.
So George is next in line before Prince Harry.
Okay, so
right?
before
Prince Harry like disowned, was disowned?
before William's kids were born, Harry
was next in
was
line.
next in line. But the moment a kid is born to the next in line, the
Yeah.
other one
So like an
steps
heir
back
takes precedence over
over
a
a
sibling.
sibling, right?
That's
So
fucked up. That's so complicated.
so when he gets 3 kids, they keep pushing
Like,
him.
imagine if they
Every
had that
kid
rule,
you get, you keep
imagine
pushing
if
your
they had that
brother
rule
away.
for inheritance.
Like-
It's like, okay,
Yeah.
bruv,
You're like shy.
you're his brother,
Like-
but I'm his son's grandson, so fuck you, I'm getting the land. It's like, wait, how does that work again?
I feel like if it was a jealous sibling who was anticipating, every child gets born, they're like, oh fuck.
I'm
this
just
shit.
gonna murder
Fuck
him in
this
his
shit.
sleep.
Ah,
Put a pillow over
and then
his
another
head.
child is born like,
Imagine-
oh,
imagine what it would be like.
These are too fertile.
Imagine what it would be like if it was like the Western tradition, where if someone dies, you have to inherit their wife. So people would be changing dynasties altogether just like that, because the wife is inherited by the brothers.
What, you Western tradition, as in Western?
Yo,
Western,
we're
some
going
Kenya,
away
some
from the
Kenya.
topic. Like there were some people who are talking about. I'm trying to moderate this conversation.
Oh yeah. So
So
we were
we were-
talking about King Charles and the whole.
Oh,
like,
there's
the
the
visit to
language
Kenya,
thing. It's the
yeah.
language
Yeah.
thing.
No, the
that I
visit
was.
to Kenya. What did he
I
do?
was.
in the visit to
It's the
Kenya?
language thing. I feel like we already finished that one. I mean, but the language thing.
Wait,
I
we're
was
so
saying. I was saying about.
the audience is like, what the fuck are you guys?
This is like
talking
episode 13.
I was talking about how the next in line is the Prince of Wales,
about?
and Wales kind of don't like recognizing the monarchy. They feel like it's an unnecessary
Kinda like
institution, and
Scotland.
like people should just be able to democratically decide who their leaders are, not through inherent bloodline. Like to them, it's very primitive.
Although technically,
most Welsh
the crown
people-
is mostly a
Yeah.
figurehead at this point, ceremonial.
And I feel like they've always been trying to secede from the United Kingdom. They just want to be Wales. So this problem actually started way back when Charles was still at Eton College, when he was still a young Turk, and being the
I
prince
like
of
this one, Jean. This
and-
is a good guest.
and
For the first time, Jean is speechless. He has no idea what the fuck is going. Usually, Jean and
No,
I
I
are
do. I
dominating
just
the
feel like,
guest.
you know, guys, I feel like we're going too deep into English tradition.
Now the guest and I are dominating Jean. And on that note, we need to introduce the guest. Because we've been talking probably for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, probably have, yeah.
Yeah, but she's pretty knowledgeable. You know a lot about the royal family. But
I
anyway,
feel like I'm interested in that.
yeah. Today's guest is, please introduce yourself.
My name is
Second time.
Cynthia.
Cynthia, and what do you do, Cynthia? You could lie,
Yeah,
by the way.
I mean, the question is, what do you do where?
Mimi
So that's what do you do where?
Juakali. Mimi Juakali, but I just make
Or-
I do deals like okay, but what I majorly
Wash.
what I majorly do is I
You
run
might own a laundry business. That's what I mean by wash.
Yeah, like my mama Fua does wash.
Like she might have some,
cool story, bruh.
wash.
Yeah, let's let Cynthia talk.
So at the moment I am running a car wash in Rongai.
Wow, okay, that's
The-
respectable. That's pretty cool. Like your
the
own
thing-
car wash?
No, I mean it's a partnership.
If she says it's hers, then it's hers.
No, she said she's
Why are you
running
being
it.
surprised?
It's a partnership.
Oh,
So
yeah.
the theme is Breaking Bad. The same.
So it's just for money
Why don't you
laundering.
give the name? Give the name out.
So the car wash is a front for the meth business we have on the side. Okay.
I feel
yeah,
like
that
you
makes
guys
sense.
are really attacking me on that. And I'm not.
The methamphetamine business. Oh my god, that makes so much sense.
the wrong amphetamine.
And I'm not helping myself with the more I talk, the more I'm
It's
actually
okay,
making
it's
it
kinda
worse.
fun.
But anyway,
But you don't have to give us
the
too
reason
much
the
detail,
reason I just
FYI.
chose
I mean,
Breaking
like
Bad.
this-
Oh, come on.
No, let
Come
me just say
on.
this. So we have an audience. You haven't mentioned the name. Go ahead and plug the name. Like it's
A1A,
it's
the
free
same
ad.
one that
In
Heisenberg
case you
had,
need
Walter
some,
White. Walter.
in case you need some meth, sorry, your car wash, you can go to Cynthia's car wash.
It's like so crazy. But anyway, it's like a partnership thing we're doing. It's gonna be a bar. It's gonna be like Pork Hub. The guy from Pork Hub from Karen is gonna also
Oh,
put his place
so
up.
cool.
And-
Whoa,
and
this girl is making some mad moves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not me.
It's a
I'm
partnership,
just
right?
like everybody's gonna like so the same way the Pork Hub guy came, I also came in as the car wash, and I decided I'm gonna theme it as Breaking Bad.
No, but it's kind of smart because, like, how many people do you meet on a daily basis who are like, hey, I'm running this business or that business? Like,
Yeah.
entrepreneurship, while weirdly ubiquitous because everybody's selling duvets on their WhatsApp status, is also pretty rare.
Maybe
Because,
we should start
like,
selling
like
duvets.
unique business
We
ideas.
should start selling duvets with ThinkShack on it. Let us know in the comments if you buy that.
Wait, come on. You just stole my point. Let us know if you want a ThinkShack duvet. I was saying something really important. I was praising Cynthia. It's like when you meet like a young person, you know, because like Cynthia can't possibly be 30 yet. Or even 25.
You'd be surprised. I'm saying you would.
Hey,
doing
come
that
on.
I'm
kind of
just saying
stuff.
he would be, but he's not going to be. So.
Yeah, like
He
that's
would be.
admirable is all I'm
Maribo
saying.
way.
Yeah, and what are your interests apart from understanding the history and structure of the British royal family?
It's not just the structure of the royal family. I basically love history.
You love history.
I just love history.
Give us a random historical fact. Just any.
This one is fun. Yeah.
A random
I think we
historical
all
fact.
have a
Any
random
fact
historical
is-
fact. We should all do it, by the way. You could have come up with some interesting.
So,
could
like I
go
started
with
with that,
something.
did you know? Like that?
Yeah, and well, you could also say motherfucker and then say the fact. Like the starting doesn't really matter.
As long as you
Okay.
get the point across.
You know, a historical fact.
Mhm.
That's a lot of pressure because I literally don't know where to begin.
Any.
I feel a lot of pressure sounds like something my car tire would say while I'm trying to
thump it. Louder!
I feel a lot of pressure. It's like, yeah, well, bro.
I mean,
Anyway.
The pressure
it's a lot of pressure to try and say something that is not too obvious.
No, come on, just say something.
Okay, I go on. I go on.
Coolest facts
I
that
go
you-
on.
so
I
suggestive,
go
actually.
on. I go on.
Uh-huh.
Did you know
Yeah.
I did actually.
that
know.
that an eighth of the whole world are actually Genghis Khan's descendants?
Oh, I have heard that one. Like,
That's a
Genghis
nice way
Khan.
to say he fucked everybody.
No, it's
Genghis
true,
Khan
though.
had so many kids. Like it should be illegal.
We all
Like
have.
it's so easy to
Actually,
commit incest
it's-
if you have
it's-
a
You
Genghis
could,
Khan
you could
kid.
interpret that in one of two ways. You could say an eighth of the world, or you could say
In
Asian.
a
millions.
huge
You
number
say
of
Asia.
people can trace at least part of their DNA.
Or you could say a
Genghis
big part of
Khan.
Asia
Back-
because Asia is like an seventh or sixth of the world.
That guy
Like the
conquered
whole of
a
Asia
shit
are-
ton of the world, and also to have sex with so many women. I don't understand that. It's like I can understand if you're a conqueror, you conquer a large part of the world, and then your soldiers.
I
rape
mean,
and
listen to the
pillage.
name Genghis. It sounds like someone who.
Nah, but think about it, bro. Think about it. Like,
Mm.
I can understand if you are a general with a large army, you conquer a large part of the world, and then your army rapes and pillages. So your army has descendants. But for you specifically to have an eighth of the world generate that, how many women are you fucking a day? 100?
Maybe he did it.
But are you just fucking all day? What time do you have to conquer? When
I
are
mean,
you
he's
conquering?
conquering when he
When are you
fucks,
doing
right?
the important
When
business?
He's
they're
conquering
when they're
when he fucks.
pillaging, they're also raping.
So part of like the war is just like
Yeah.
shah.
Yeah, they do that.
I wanna know
They're
the-
like
I wanna
they're
know
like
those
they're like
people's
the
diets,
they're like the
'cause
Greyjoys in actually the Greyjoy. No. Actually, here's the thing about Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Quick
The
disclaimer:
the
John
the,
hasn't
the
watched
Dothraki.
Game of
How
Thrones.
Guys, let's not get
how
too
the
deep into
Dothraki
these
how
references.
how the Dothraki would jump on horses and marksmen. The Dothraki
Yeah.
marksmen
The kind
would be
of
able
models-
to shoot arrows from
Yeah.
on a
They're
horseback.
kind of modeled after the Mongols.
The
actually.
Mongols actually used to do that.
Yeah,
And
Genghis
the
Khan's
Genghis Khan's
hordes.
army. And I feel like the raping and pillaging is more of the Greyjoys. Like they do not sow.
The pirates, actually.
They do not
the
sow.
pirates, they're called reavers.
They're reavers, yeah.
Pirates.
So their work, they don't farm. They believe in taking.
Yeah, we do not sow.
We do not sow at their house.
Okay, Jean gave us a random historical fact. One that you think is gonna blow our minds.
Wait, what was that?
The last one was that Genghis Khan, an eighth of the world's population can trace its ancestry back to Genghis Khan.
Did you know the? Well, I mean, that's not a historical.
Not to his brother
It
Genghis
is.
Khan.
No, I'm talking
because
about
Genghis Khan fucked the rest of the world, but Genghis Khan, his brother, didn't. That's a bad joke. Anyway, go on.
Do you know Genghis Khan's actual name? The one that he was given at birth?
No, what is his name?
Timujin.
Timujin. You want to know another corny little thing? Do you know what killed Genghis Khan?
Actually, I don't know.
A woman.
It was a cold. It was a simple
flu.
case of flu. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
It's probably COVID, like the original COVID.
Imagine conquering so much of the world and then dying of a simple flu.
He was a bitch.
Anyway, you give us a
Genghis,
random
from
fact.
wherever you are, you can try and conquer me in my dreams, but you're dead, I'm alive, so.
It's gonna come like Freddy Krueger. But anyway, give me your random fact.
Fuck my ancestors or something.
I mean, you're speaking ahead of yourself. He has like an eighth of the whole population.
I am the spirit of
And
Genghis Khan.
what do you have? Do
I have
you
come
even
to
have
pillage
one
you.
child?
I've come to pillage your ass. Fleece Johnson style. Anyway, give us a random fact, Jean.
I have one, but I feel like it just went. Oh yeah, did you know that was it Europeans were not the first ones to visit America? It was actually Africans from West Africa. They were undertaking a lot of like, what are they called? Navigating the what's this ocean between
Africans built
the Pacific or is it the Atlantic? The
It's
Atlantic
the
Ocean.
Pacific.
No, it's the Atlantic because it's between Africa and
Oh yeah, that's true.
yeah,
Atlantic.
they're the first ones to navigate like from there to
Yeah.
to the Americas.
So I was gonna ask. So you're saying Africans had seafaring ships
Right.
long before?
Right, they were simple in design, but they were there.
They
before.
would
The
cross
kingdom-
the vast ocean.
The kingdom of Mali actually was a very powerful nation. It was one of the richest in the world at that
Yeah,
time.
I've had the
because
Mansa
they had,
Musa story.
Yeah, because they had like all sorts of gold and everything. Timbuktu is actually a real place. If you didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Timbuktu.
University
episode?
of Timbuktu was the very first university in the world.
Right.
And
you
because
see?
Mansa Musa, they were Muslims, so the
Yeah.
whole graduation gown that you see, it's
Mhm.
actually an imitation of the Muslimic garbs
There
that
you go.
Kina Mansa Musa used to wear.
So it's not
That's
like a
wild
Western
fact.
So
That's a
even
wild fact.
Vanderbilt or Harvard or Yale still wear that because it goes to show that this actually originated from a Muslim
Yeah.
environment, which was in Africa, in Mali.
Right.
And Mansa Musa built the
This
very
reminds me
first
of-
university,
Yeah.
and because of their attire as
Yeah.
Muslims, which was like long, and that's why the graduation
Yeah.
gowns look
This
like
Put that
reminds
on your
me-
Instagram.
This reminds
An
me of
African
that,
created the first ever university.
exorcism chant from that episode of Courage the Cowardly Dog. You used to watch that cartoon, Courage the Cowardly Dog. So there's a point where Muriel, Courage's dog mother, gets possessed, and then like he was supposed to chant an exorcism. It was like hullabaloo and howdy do, rusty prawns and Timbuktu. Because Timbuktu.
Yeah, just right.
Yeah, exactly. And
Right.
then like Muriel got exorcised.
Was it the duck that was?
No, there was no.
No,
Like
it wasn't a duck. It was a ghost, like a spirit. Like Muriel was
I mean, there were so many
genuinely-
villains in Courage the Cuddly Dog. I wish they had names like in Powerpuff Girls, like there was Mojo Jojo, there was what. If they had
Eustace
names,
and Muriel.
It's funny how
the villains didn't have names.
It was
so
funny how the villains from Powerpuff Girls, the one of the key ones was like a transgender or something like that. You remember that guy, the one in red?
Is it he
Was
or
that
she?
Him. It was called him.
Him.
It was called him.
Yeah,
It
the
was
one who's supposed
red.
to be a demon.
Oh, the one that looks like a demon and has like pincers,
And
like
I was just
lobster,
like,
lobster pincers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the weird like.
So,
Okay, so
Cynthia,
yeah,
you're from Rongai. I'm also from Rongai.
she met the wrong guy at some point too.
There's some interesting stories from Rongai about the Church of the Most High.
I love that, Jean.
I don't think this.
That is so funny. No, wait. Jean was like, "We're not talking about another series. Fuck it. We're going back to Trevor's brief now."
No, I mean, like, it's one of the toughest, guys. Come
Yeah,
on.
no, I get it. I'm
Yeah.
just like, I tell you, I always get amazed by your smooth segments. It was like, what the fuck? Like, you just sprang that one on us. But yeah,
But it's an interesting. The other
the
one.
Church of the Most High.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Church of the Most High. I don't think we've been to the Church of the Most High. So is it really the Most High?
Okay,
Usually
let's
the
just
Most High-
explain what the Church of the Most High is, what the reference is. It's
Alright.
because like this weed was
So-
burned.
The police have found 26 sacks of bang. I don't know why they call it bang. We had the whole episode about that.
It comes from Indian banga, actually.
Bang.
Yeah, it comes from
Worth
Indian
6 million shillings
Sanskrit.
at a church in Ongata. Did you know about that story?
You know the weed that was burnt the other day.
She probably was involved in it.
She was
I mean, there's weed being burned everywhere. What did you hear about it?
Yeah, I heard about it, but like I found it really funny. It's like, why do we have this weird practice? Actually, I'm in the spirit of noticing really weird practices.
In the spirit, because it's
Yeah.
Halloween.
Why is it that when we catch illegal consignments of weed, at least in Kenya,
Make it sound like it
burn
happens
it?
often.
Why do we burn them? Like, if you catch an illegal consignment of cocaine, I never see the DCI burning a bunch of cocaine in a forest.
But here's the thing: does it ever get shown being burnt, or is it just hearsay?
I mean, it doesn't matter, does it? It's still crazy. Like, why are you burning this
No,
shit?
I'm saying like it could be a fabrication. The police might not even be burning it. How do you know it's been burned?
I
You
feel
haven't
like-
seen the evidence.
The only way you can know is walk by there and see if you get high.
Probably.
Because if you burn that much weed, I bet anyone in the vicinity is just gonna be laughing themselves off.
That'll be the stone section of
I feel like
lifestyle.
some decisions are not made because of the purpose or the function it will serve. I feel like some decisions are made by a system because that's what they know. For example, during the ivory trade that Moi was trying to stop, the whole banning of the
The
tusks
tusks.
was a message like, I know they're valuable, but what you're doing to get them is actually very wrong, and this should never get into somebody's hands, because the more money somebody makes from ivory, the more they'll want more. So it was a statement like, we're gonna ban all this ivory, watch all those millions burn, because elephants' lives are worth more.
That's a good
Okay.
point because it's
And
like,
it was a whole thing. It was a whole gesture, and I feel like when people are banning like whatever this weed nini, it's just something that is ingrained in their minds. Hey, when we get something illegal, we should ban it.
That's a good point because like even the war on drugs, you don't realize that the drug cartels and whoever the violent criminals all been funded by customers like me and you. We buy drugs, right?
Yeah.
So if you burn the drugs, for example, it's a symbol that hey, we're not gonna let these things go back into circulation.
I'm okay with that. I have no problem with that argument. My question is, why do we only burn weed? We don't burn any of the other illegal drugs. When
I
we
think weed is more
confiscate
common
them.
in Kenya. You can find a farmer near
I
you.
know you hear news of cocaine.
Like
Yeah,
getting
cocaine, they're always very
confiscated
packed. They always
all the time. So
packed
where does
so
the cocaine
properly.
go? Why don't we have cocaine burning ceremonies? Why don't we have heroin burning ceremonies? Why the fuck is it
Okay,
always
here's the
weed?
thing. I think cocaine is not as
Why do we burn the one drug which, if you burn, you're probably gonna get high?
No, but here's
Don't
the
you
thing.
find that rather sus?
I think the thing is, cocaine is not like widespread taboo. Nobody knows. Okay, not many people know people who use cocaine, right? It's for the upper class because a gram of cocaine is 5,000. For those of you who don't know, so
I love the way you just dropped that.
for those of you who might not know, a gram is that's
And you
enough-
found this
How
out
did you
by
know?
research?
Yes, how did you know
I've experimented.
this?
So-
You know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy.
I know him very well.
Yo,
I know him
quick
lately.
question for research purposes. So a gram is 5,000.
Right.
For a first-time user,
So a
how
gram,
long is, like, how much of a high is a gram gonna give
depending
you?
on how long you cut the lines and everything, a gram could be like anywhere from 3 days or 2 days to a night. Because a
Oh
gram
my
will give you
God.
20 lines, 20 thin
The only
lines.
way you know street value of something is if you're the seller or the buyer.
No,
So
it's
which one
universal.
are you?
No, I'm the buyer.
He's the researcher.
I've bought one
Door
side.
number 3.
So, and the funny thing is, like, the prices are universal. You go to this plug, it'll tell you 5,000. You go to another plug, it'll tell you 5,000.
Wow.
So yeah, the gram can give you like 20 lines, and 2 lines will get you high for like 30 minutes. So if you have a night out, you can probably finish a gram.
So yeah, oh my god, that's 5,000 shillings to get like
A gram.
Like a
a
night.
night. Oh my
Yeah.
god, that
It's
is
not that bad though. If you think about it, people buy Mzinga, which is like 750 ml for, well, Jack Daniels is like 7,000.
In a club.
So if that's not your
Not in
kind
a
of
wines
vibe,
and spirit.
Yeah, but nobody buys Jack Daniel in the club unless they're trying to show off.
Yeah.
They're buying the Gilbies.
Yeah, get lit.
You regularly buy Jack Daniels in the club?
All the time.
I feel like you're so full of shit, man.
No, anytime I go with my neighbor, like I don't like hard liquor, but when I do buy it, I prefer whiskey. Cynthia, you prefer whiskey. You were telling me about.
No, bro, you do KOs. I've gone out with you. What do you mean? You do KOs, bro.
No, that's what I'm saying. When I buy like liquor, like in Rongai, for example.
You do Jack Daniels.
Yeah, most of the time.
Yeah, but unaweza twenda pa alcohol box ununue upregame uende kwa club kwa uko lit.
But what's the
Where
point
do you
though?
need to spend
Okay, you guys
to
don't get
drink
it. There's a kind of like prestige that comes with buying a nice bottle, right?
That's the thing what you say, like you're trying to show off.
Unless you're trying to show off.
Yeah, that's the whole point. Because the funny thing is if like on a night where it's very busy and then you go and buy beer.
At least he's honest about it.
Yeah, I mean if you go and buy beers, you have a bunch of people.
Symbol.
You have a bunch of people who treat you like you're not shit. But then when you buy a bottle, they come with the lights and everything.
Oh, I hate that. I hate that
everybody
shit.
kind of respects the table.
Oh my god.
If you're
it's so cringy.
If you're in the mood, it's like
the skirts and shit.
Exactly, it's like the bait for the fishes. So the ladies will see.
Never do that.
I just spent a bunch of money on alcohol. Look at me, I'm special.
Please. I never put that shit on. If I'm there with you,
I don't think it's your choice.
It's not your choice. It's
the club decides to do it.
I don't.
If you bypass a certain price, the club is going to send over a bunch of waitresses.
You don't like the attention?
That feels like masturbating, man. Like it's so drawing all attention to yourself. Like
I see her point. It does feel
like stroking your dick or something.
Yeah, you're just stroking your dick in front of the crowd.
You're
like,
literally sucking your own dick.
I spent a bunch of money to get drunk. I actually think like in alcohol, the law of diminishing returns is stronger than ever because past a certain price point, you're not gonna get any more drunk. The quality of the drunkenness of the drunkenness is gonna be better.
See you on the other side.
Yeah,
basically with
you buy 100,000 shilling cognac versus a 5,000 shilling whiskey.
And then
no fucking difference.
You might think that it might not get you more drunk, but it will taste better. But no, that's not the case. I tried the Glenfiddich that was like 32,000.
Tasted like shit, didn't it?
It was one of the worst things I've ever tasted.
I know. So why is it so expensive?
I think it's just because it's old. Like 18-year-old.
It's just the aging
so
thing.
you see the problem with thinking like the prestige thing. You're actually gonna get consumed into buying the brand than buying the experience. So like for example, it's good that you're able to note this is an expensive drink, but it's not good because you're gonna end up like a material chaser to the point where you're not even buying the drink, you're buying the whole aesthetic.
It's called the hedonistic treadmill. It's like you get a bit of money, you buy something expensive within your means, of course. It makes you feel really good. So now you can never buy something cheaper. You get more money, you want something more expensive because you're used to this thing already.
Right.
Whatever.
What?
Hedonistic treadmill. It's like a treadmill because you're running,
but you're not going anywhere. It's never gonna stop.
Yeah. Like lifestyle changes. Lifestyle, it's called lifestyle creep, right? Yeah. Lifestyle creep is a
hedonism is the pursuit of pleasure. So
for its own sake.
Pursuing pleasure on a treadmill.
So like lifestyle.
Does that come from like a Greek god or something?
Yeah. So lifestyle creep is an example of the hedonistic treadmill. Like you get you have a job that's paying you 25K. You're living well within your means. Maybe
you're comfortable.
You're even saving. And then you get a job that pays you 100K. You're not going to spend 25K and save 75K. You're more likely to spend now 75K.
You're going to move into a bigger house.
Exactly. Now that TV doesn't look as good. Now the house is too small. And if your salary increases to 500K, well, guess what? You're not going to spend 75K and save 425. You're going to spend probably like 400,000.
You know what's funny? Ramsey and I have had this conversation. It's funny, like, if you even observe your own lives, you in the audience, like, you'll see how, like, that progression for you, the ratio that you were saving versus the amount that you were spending and the amount that you were saving, that ratio, you probably carried it over to
it never changed. Exactly. If you were saving 25% of your income, you'll continue to save 25% of your income, no matter how much you earn. So it kind of feels like this, like you know, it's a treadmill. You're running, but you're not going anywhere. You're never really making any progress. And it's so pernicious because it's so hard to avoid. Like, I mean, like, you get a bit of money, you're like, now I need a car to move around. It's like, bruv, you don't really need a car. You were so comfortable in matatus and an Uber.
Yeah.
Even the Uber was too much.
But I think it's
let's
necessary.
leave that at that. Why did you buy a car?
I think it's necessary for progression.
I feel like a car is about convenience, but you can do without it. But I feel like if you can afford yourself something, like, you should not limit yourself and say that...
Same thing with the Jack Daniels, by the way.
I mean, no, I'm not saying that. I'm talking about...
I feel like that kind of talk is what gets you on the
I'm talking about
treadmill in the first place.
There's a difference between minimalism and comfort. Like, there's certain things that you shouldn't deny yourself because of your budget. Like, you should actually figure out how you're gonna make yourself more comfortable. Not because you're showing off or anything, but because it makes more sense.
And what's the point of working if you're not getting that reward in the end?
If moving around from Rongai to Westlands with a matatu will mean that you jab from Rongai to town, then you go to work to Odeon, get another jab that goes to Westlands.
It's a question of time as well.
If you can actually conveniently get from one point A to B, and that car should not just be for your luxury, you're actually locomoting to ease your business affairs or whatever it is you're doing to make your life better. So you're using the car to make your life even better.
I personally
think... And it will take you less time to come from Rongai to Westlands through the bypass.
I personally think it's okay to want to be comfortable. The question is, where do you draw the line?
I was going to make this point. The funny thing is, I think it's actually necessary to be on that treadmill so you can advance. Because the more you want, the more you do, right? If you set your bar here, then your ambitions are this low. You achieve it, you don't grow, you stagnate. And everything else is growing around you. So you eventually end up finding yourself behind on everything. So it's good to pursue more, even if it's hedonistic, if it's vain, because we'll have to get to the next level.
The problem is, it's like a case of the bigger they are, the harder they fall. If suddenly something happens today and your source of income is taken away from you, let's say you've gone up the ladder to 500k from your meager 25k income a few years ago, and something happens and you're going back to 25k, it's going to feel like absolute torture. But if you had somehow managed to learn to live within your means, even if your income was slashed by half, you'd still be comfortable.
But here's the thing.
Today we know if your income is slashed by half, you're going to feel
Let me use your example. Here's the thing. Once you've gone to that level and then you go back to 25k, you'll be like, you'll be so pressed to get back to that level. So you'll do your level best to get back there. But if you're used to living on less, you're never going to have that kind of impetus.
Comfort zone.
Exactly, in the comfort zone. You don't have that impetus to advance. So it's good to pursue these things. Buy that expensive bottle of perfume. Buy that, 50,000 shilling bottle of whatever.
What about investment? What if you're ambitious but about a different set of things?
It's all about balance.
It's about priorities.
It's not about how much I make myself comfortable, but
priorities.
What are my business goals? What are my career goals? And that's where you channel your ambition, but not necessarily about buying trinkets.
So you're saying everybody has their different priorities.
Yeah, for me, a priority would probably be a home. For somebody else, their priority would be a business.
For somebody else, their priority would be a luxury car. Cocaine. But okay, a car. That's what I said.
Kila nyani na starehe zake. You do what you came to this world to do. Me, I always say, think independently. If you feel like a liter of ice cream makes sense to you and somebody said you should have a quarter,
a liter of ice cream is a bit much though.
Fuck them. I'll find a way.
The brain feed.
I'll find a way to fund my liter of ice cream if that's what I want. Okay. Yeah, always think independently. Sometimes I tell you a liter is too much. Okay, for you, but I'm not you. I'm me.
I mean, it's all good to think independently, but aren't there general okay, I'm gonna say the word that Jean probably is tired of hearing. General principles.
I'm not tired of hearing them.
Because we were talking about principles this morning and just became a whole thing. It's aren't there general principles you should live by to ensure that you don't fall off the wagon? Financial management is pretty important.
For sure.
So living within your means isn't about torturing yourself. And you're spend the money, it'll come back. But seriously,
funny enough, between me and Ramsey, he is actually that's his opinion right now, but he lives the exact opposite. And for me, I'm just trying to make a case. I'm trying to be like the devil's advocate, right? But I mean, we kind of agree at some point.
Yeah.
It's just we're making different arguments.
Don't you want to have...
Yeah.
Don't you want to always be at a point where you're even if disaster struck,
yeah.
I'm set. I'm okay. I'm not going to suddenly be depressed and shit. And I might even have a little to pass on to my children. It's the middle class trap for me. I think it traps you in the middle class.
I think that's what everybody is working towards. I feel like if you're working just to survive, you're doing it wrong. Yeah. But ultimately, the goal is to get to that point. It's very liberating to just know that, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I don't need to do more. Maybe that's where you draw the line. Maybe the line is where whatever happens, you actually have a cushion. And your kids
That's
are
so
gonna
important.
and your kids are gonna be fine. For me, that's where I would draw the line.
Yeah,
But
and
here's
that's
the
the
thing.
concept of financial security.
I
It's
agree
so
with
important.
both of you, but here's the thing: where's the motivation for that come from? When you get to a cozy lifestyle, you're like, shit, I don't want to let this go, and then you have more of an incentive to do that.
So
I'm just making the case, actually.
So maybe it's not even about trinkets. It's about where
Fear
you
of
put your
loss
where
as
did
a
you where
motivator.
did you put your money? You don't put all your eggs in one basket. I'm gonna put this in bonds.
I usually put mine in a crate.
I'm gonna put this in
I put mine in some
money
underwear.
market, wherever,
On a
so
Friday
that
night.
whatever happens, they all can't
The strip
fail,
club.
right?
What
like-
the fuck is?
I mean, I was
Sorry,
making a joke, right? You're like, I put my money into the bed. I was like, I
Why
put my
would you
money in some
put-
underwear.
Your egg. Imagine going to a strip club with an egg.
Oh,
just to
I
put
thought we
it in
were
a
talking about
stripper's
money. I
panties.
thought we were talking about money.
What? Oh, you're talking about. I was thinking about eggs. I said I put my eggs in a crate.
That would
You
be
said you put
nasty,
yours in a panty in a strip club. Like, why would
Kwani
I
zenyu
go to a
zimeanza kuraruka
strip
saizi?
club? No, it was just a
The whole
miscommunication. But
Like,
it was just
you
a
guys have been fine
miscommunication.
until this point. Like,
No,
you
we're
guys-
still fine.
We're
It's
still
just-
fine.
it's
This
just-
is how the podcast usually
It
goes.
was just like a
actually.
really
It was just-
stupid joke.
Yeah, it's the way we usually do.
Wow.
One day I'm gonna try. I'm just gonna go with an egg to a strip club. Like when it's just like,
You'll be kicked out of there so fast. You'll be like, I was told there was gonna be the hot egg show.
Humpty Dumpty.
I bought the material.
So funny.
And then it just
Wow.
like,
Anyway, back to more serious topics because Cynthia is so
we actually have
mystified
15
right
minutes
now.
left, so we might as well do the meme review.
Yeah, the meme review. This was so freestyle. It's hilarious.
It's almost free.
Well, it is free because no one's
No,
gonna
it's
pay
a
to
style
watch
of
this
freedom. We
episode.
start with mine or we start
Oh
with
my
yours?
god, you guys, back to the royal family. I feel like you guys have been pushing me away from what I was trying, the point I was trying to make
Okay.
about the whole Swahili language
Alright.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to say that when Charles was just leaving college and there was this pressure coming from Wales that we don't want to identify with the United Kingdom. We don't believe in all this monarchy shit. So they just want to be able to exercise their democratic right and choose the leaders they feel are fit for them, not somebody who inherited it because they were born in that family. And one of the tactics that Elizabeth was advised
She
by
sent
the
him to learn
institution
Welsh.
was to tell Charles, you can't be the Prince of Wales and you don't even know how to speak Welsh. I mean, it would really speak to them if it would really get to them if you're able to address them in their language. So Charles is quite something of a linguist. He has a knack for learning languages. That's why when he spoke Swahili the other day, you could almost assume that it's his first time. He's actually a very good with languages.
Yeah.
And I mean I feel like he really tried.
I remember that.
It was a
episode
very
of
good
The Crown,
attempt.
Like I remember the
Like
episode
with
where
the
he went through
Swahili.
the struggle and then got really good at Welsh when he gave that speech
Yeah,
at the end.
and it really helped. So I feel like language is very powerful. Like the moment somebody just talks to you in your language, you immediately feel some homey feeling.
I call language the passport to influence.
Yeah.
Here's a philosophical question.
Mhm.
Which one do you think came first, thought or language?
It was thought, of course.
But you can't think.
Babies can think.
Unless
Children
you're
who can't
thinking-
speak can
That's
think.
like asking who named the brain.
Okay, no,
I
that's
mean,
very
the brain,
different. That's very different.
the
But-
brain sort of.
No, I mean, just
itself
put yourself in
brain.
the perspective of the child. Right, in a child's mind, right, they can think. I want to pick this thing up and put it in my mouth. They're thinking, but they don't know how to express themselves apart from blah blah blah.
Yeah,
crying.
true.
So it definitely was thought.
I'm thinking along
The
the
thoughts
lines-
came first. The Instagram thought.
I'm thinking along the lines of like human evolution. When we were evolving from apes, did we start to develop a system of language first and then become better
But I
at
mean,
thinking?
there's the parallel I
Or
give
did
you
we
because
first
children.
start becoming better at thinking and then develop a system?
That's the
of
parallel I
language?
give you because children are as intelligent as like animals. Some of them. You know what I mean? Like babies. I'm talking about infants. Like really small kids. They probably have. the
Maybe they
intelligence
just have
level.
their own language. How do you know?
I don't think so. They just cry.
Like babies coo and do like they communicate, so they have a language.
No, they just move in their mouths and then sounds. Like they're actually fascinated by the fact that they can make sounds. Think about it. Like you've just been born, you're like, oh, look at my hand. Oh, I made that weird sound. They're just fidgeting. They're
Okay,
fidgeting
but like
sounds.
if your baby is hungry or if it's experiencing some pain, it's gonna cry.
I have
It's
a harder one.
communicating.
I have a harder one for you guys.
Yeah, that's how of communicating because they know if
It's a
they cry,
language.
some even manipulate you. They
Yeah.
cry because they want your attention, but they don't really.
Yeah.
behave.
I have a
That's
harder
a
one for you
language.
guys. Do you think we are born knowing how to smile, or do we learn it by looking at our parents and then modeling their behavior? 'Cause I don't think babies. from a
Smiling is
certain
an emotion. You don't control it.
No,
No,
but
smiling is an
it's
expression.
an expression. Yeah, you're communicating.
For a
something.
baby, for a baby, I feel like it's an emotion because
the
they
thing
didn't
is-
tell them.
So the
Okay,
question
I can
does
fake
the
a
baby
smile.
know how to smile
They don't do
naturally,
it.
or
They
do
don't do it
learn
until
how
a
to
certain
smile?
age. They don't do it until a
It's
certain age.
it's an emotion
like a
that
few
takes.
months.
It's like laughing.
They don't smile
you
until a
just
few
end up
months.
laughing.
Actually, I here's a funny thing. I've seen a chance like actually my baby sister, and like I remember holding her in my hands, and then she just like look at me and I would smile, and she would be expressionless for a while.
Exactly.
And then one day, all of a sudden, I smile and she smiled back. It's like
They
she's trying to
don't.
copy
It's
me.
like she's trying to copy you. That's what I think. I think it's a lot deeper than we think. Like it's a high thought, but it's a deep thought. Deep thoughts of the deep. And with that, we can segue into the main section. You want to start with mine, or should we start with yours?
No, I don't have any.
Sounds like the beginning of a 69.
I really don't have any. I think we'll just do yours today.
All right,
honestly.
let's go from. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can count to 4, guys. Clap for me. So here, start from this one from Happy
Who's
Faces.
the good boy?
It's me. It is I. It is I.
Which one?
The one with the happy faces, whatever. Don't scroll. You always have to just have it.
I can't tell you how many times I've watched this. Is that the one?
Wait. Nah, come on, man. Like, let me.
Bruv, I'm literally where you.
Oh yeah,
had
exactly.
The
Yeah,
screen.
yeah. That's the one. That's the one. I didn't read it.
Okay, so we're gonna watch it with Cynthia. What the fuck was this guy doing?
It's like when you commit to taking a lift,
Yeah,
and then you put your entire body into it, and then you miss it.
But you did what?
So he's trying to lift it like, and then basically he does a slam dunk on himself. You know?
How did he?
Was that intentional or what?
I don't think so.
No, it wasn't.
That looks painful. Alright, go to the next one.
Oh, you're showing
What
a
is
lift
he saying
and he
though?
missed the.
What is he saying though?
Kevin Hart dressed as The Rock.
Wait, but no, that's not the one. I'm just saying, like, scroll back to the messages.
Oh, okay, sorry. Okay, so which is this one? When you're arguing with your girlfriend and she realizes she's in the wrong.
Just realised what? I don't want to talk to you anymore. Hang on.
I just realized I don't want to talk to you anymore.
What did he do?
Yeah, Cynthia, tell us, as a girl,
Okay,
why
You don't like being
y'all
wrong.
act up when y'all
never like
are
being
wrong?
wrong.
I
and
feel
all
like I
that?
don't relate to a lot of
I
feminine
don't want to talk to you anymore.
vibes because I have a lot of masculine.
Well, how often do you say sorry?
Stud
Just
vibes.
You say sorry. Oh.
Stud.
I don't want to talk to you anymore.
Wait, let me first see the video. When you're arguing with your girlfriend and she realizes she's in the wrong.
Just realised what? I don't want to talk to you anymore.
Okay, I
Yeah,
understand
you-
that. I get it, but I don't relate.
You don't have to be
I
wrong.
don't relate. I wouldn't be in a position to tell you that because I feel like most men actually complain about how masculine I am.
Okay, define masculine. Like, what do they complain about specifically?
Your
What parts of you
mustache
do they
or-
think are
I'm
masculine?
too headstrong. I tend to
Can you do a headbutt?
But
to
That's the
not
cleaner joke than
wanna
I was gonna
play the damsel in distress, come and rescue
Oh, headstrong is
me.
like giving a strong head. But yeah, go on.
Shay.
That's the-
Like,
that's the joke I was
just
gonna-
have to. There's like you'll always find a way to read it, won't you?
Life
No, that's the way
You
to
never
embellish
miss
it.
ways.
That's like Iron Man.
Okay, so you're too headstrong. What else?
Okay,
Mudu strong. Go ahead.
are you done? Like, do you get out of your system?
No.
You
I mean,
good.
it's gonna come on its own. I'm
It
sorry.
seeps out. It's like a fart.
I wanna let you get it out.
So headstrong and
Let me
then
know
what
when
else?
you're done.
Headstrong and then what else?
You good?
Yeah, we're good.
Done.
Headstrong and then what else?
Yeah, he said it's very strong.
Okay, so
Go ahead.
okay.
Come on.
So
Guys, just for reference, she didn't watch the podcast before she came on. That's why she's kind of like.
She's like, who the fuck are
What
these
is
guys?
going on
But
here?
yeah,
Yeah,
uh-huh.
yeah, I wanted the element of surprise.
Uh-huh.
Well, you
Too
got it.
headstrong and then
Certainly
what
got it.
else?
I'm not surprised, just so you know. And anyway, they complained that some find like there's only one guy that I know who probably likes it, but most men, they want you to need them. They want you to feel.
They want to feel
How true is that,
needed.
man? Do you
They want to
needed?
feel like they're your protector.
I'm actually trying to think
Your
of it
mascot.
from an academic perspective.
And I tend
Like,
to.
from a personal perspective, do you like to feel needed?
Huh?
As
Do,
a
oh,
man,
him, do, as a man, do you feel
I
like
think it's
you
a
feel
bit of an
needed?
ego boost.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you, if your woman like needed you?
I
It's like,
suppose everybody, even outside of the context of a relationship, wants to feel needed somehow. You want to feel important.
even women want to feel needed.
I know, like men thrive in providing and it makes them feel more manly when they
So
are
that's
able
the
to.
aspect of feeling needed, like needing
like
you,
if
the man
if
to-
this woman doesn't like mean anything to him if he's not taking care of her.
Okay.
Like that's his primal instinct.
Mhm.
I'm the man. I need to protect you. I need to take care of you.
So many in your life have complained about not.
Well, that's a
feeling
bit
needed by
personal,
you.
man.
Not feeling like I need them. Like they feel like she just takes care of her own shit all the
Yeah.
time.
So
Like,
you've never like okay, this is a good question to ask Cynthia. What's your opinion on girlfriend allowance?
I mean, if you're a man and you're using money to get some kind of approval or recognition,
Yeah.
you're a simp.
Yes.
But
It's clear.
but
Booty.
if you're just a stoic kind of man, and whether this money is there or not, this girl is into you, then you're not giving that money to get her approval. You're just a giver.
So then you agree.
And
No, wait, stop forcing. Stop forcing.
What I'm saying is,
I'm sorry.
you are a real man
Mhm.
if you don't need money to get somebody to stay with you.
Okay.
You're an even realer man if you're able to give money to a girl, and that is not the reason why she's with you.
And
I
you're
just want to make a
fictional man.
I just want to I want to make
If
a
you
comment.
don't
You know what's
exist.
funny is the people who always say real men are women. Have you ever noticed? Anyone who talks about real men?
It's like a kind of manipulation tactic.
It's
no,
not.
but we don't care about we're not gonna be
It's-
like, hey, a real woman should do this. Nobody does that. It's weird.
Okay, I'm sorry for my
No,
choice
no,
of
no,
it's not
words.
an issue. We're just
Maybe
breaking down the
yeah,
idea.
but I'm
Let's
just
listen to
saying.
the merit in her argument.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
What I'm just trying to say is, what makes a man a man? What makes a woman a woman?
Probably
Right?
their genitals.
Yeah.
But
I think scientifically speaking.
Yeah.
women don't put a lot of pressure on themselves on how to be a woman. It's mostly men who feel like they have a lot of pressure on how to be a man. So I feel like I have the right to tell you a real man or my opinion on that, because at the end of the day, that's what men strive for.
Okay. Here's the thing, Cynthia. This is what
Because
I'm
I
saying.
mean, I'm saying that you should take that advice. But as far as your journey to try and be the manliest man there ever is, this is what I think. But as a woman,
Okay, guys, just a moment before we get lost in the weeds.
In the sauce.
Yeah, it's like you do agree then that the issue of girlfriend allowance should be judged on a case by case basis.
Yes.
Which was my argument the whole time.
That's not really an argument. Everybody
Because-
agrees on it should
okay,
be.
No, but everybody's like, if you give girlfriend allowance, you're a simp. I'm like, it's not that
It
simple.
depends on the
It's
circumstances.
not that simple. Even somebody might
Being
feel
a simp is not
it's
that
about
simple.
it's about masculine
that simple.
fragility. Honestly, I feel like it's about masculine fragility. If you feel like you're not masculine enough to give money and there's no
Well, there's an argument.
black and white
There's a
as
flaw
to
in your
whether
argument.
this girl is with you because of the money or not. Like if you give this girl money and you as a man wouldn't be able to differentiate if she's with me because of the money or not, then that is something you're doubting yourself as a masculine man. But there's a man who will give money and he's so confident that that's not the reason why she's with.
I'm gonna give a
she's
bit of
with him.
what is it called, off-kilter topic, a comment or something like that. Like if you, this is just my observation, my belief. Like if you are so like dedicated to I want to be a man, then you have issues with your masculinity. Like that's something that most men don't think about, at least in my opinion. You're not really thinking about I need to be.
Yeah, tell that to all the guys that stick their hands in nests of bullet ants.
Okay, those ones are different, of course. But
No,
I mean,
that's
like,
about wanting to be a man.
I feel like you should try to
but
strive
that's a
to
bit of an
be.
extreme.
Yeah, I think the
Some-
pursuit
There's
of
no-
the
yeah.
pursuit of
Here's the thing.
it's like
Self-development.
wait a minute.
Here's the
It's
thing.
like,
There's no such
no.
thing as whether you want to or not. Whether you're a bum, will it make? Are you not a man?
No, but it's always the pursuit of being greater than what you are. It's the pursuit of greatness. It's like
But women do that
that
too.
guy in Nietzsche, the Thus Spoke Zarathustra. It's like being
What?
man and Superman. It's like about striving to be the Superman.
You have to
or
put
like
some work into
stoicism,
it. You don't just
striving,
wake up
striving
and-
to
here's
be
the thing.
greater
No,
than yourself,
my
to
argument
rise
is
above
this.
yourself.
Like here's my argument, right?
Uh-huh.
Like it doesn't matter what someone calls, like what you call being a man, what I call being a man.
No, but
No.
you should work towards whatever
No, let me
definition
make
of
the
being
point.
a man
Let me
is.
make the point,
Whatever definition of you, whatever you define as being a man, you should work towards that.
I mean,
whatever somebody else wants
the
to
thing.
define as being a man, they should work
Here's
towards
the thing. It feels like going too deep in, like what, missing the forest for the trees. Because at the end of the day, whether you like it or not, whatever you do, whether you fuck up or not, you'll still be a man. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whose definition it is because everyone has their own. It's subjective and everything like that. So the whole pursuit is futile. Like, there's no point. You're already a man whether you want to be or not. It's just that there's different kinds of men. You get me?
I feel like it's not about the goals. I feel like it's not about the goals. It's about the cognizance. Just being aware of that. Whether you're there or not.
I feel like life does that for you either way. You get older,
the
you get married,
it's
you
a
have kids.
self-awareness is so important. Like, you can't just be running around like a breathing human being. Like, I'm alive. Let's just go through this life and see, where I'll end up. Like, there's some element of control that every human being should have, and discipline. And you go to the gym, you should not understand this more than anybody.
I'm just making a logical argument.
I get Jean's angle here.
Yeah, I'm just making a logical argument.
It's like, yo, bro.
Whether you want to or not.
Life is a single player game.
Yeah.
It's like, you are the avatar. You're like, whatever the fuck you want, man.
Whatever the fuck you want.
Nobody
listen,
cares.
even bombs get married. You'll find chocoras on the street.
You shouldn't leave it for somebody else.
Yeah, even the crazy person in the dump masturbating in public is a man.
Probably some of them even have wives. So you might look.
I kind of get your
logic.
But it's weirdly nihilistic.
Yeah, it's nihilistic.
It's nihilistic, but I get the logic.
But if you justify it like that, I mean, if you saw your friend is the kind of person who is actually settled well in a good life with a good wife and kids, but has a bad habit of, chasing down hoes, not having protected sex.
Is it a bad habit from a woman's perspective? Or from a man's perspective?
From the man's perspective, he's exposing his family to diseases.
But here's the thing, Cynthia.
Are you gonna tell him like, live your life?
Opens the doors. Y'all are exposed. There's some AIDS coming.
Do what you wanna do.
We got like a few minutes left. We've hit the 6 minutes. What I was saying is like, I lost my point. What the fuck? I had a good one.
No, she was saying like, imagine like your friend who has.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say, do you know a lot of successful men match that description? Conventionally successful. All the politicians
supposedly
who cheat,
real men.
They go after hoes and everything. Exactly. So again, back to my point. Whatever the hell you do, you will be a man.
You're
gonna be a man by someone's definition.
By someone, even by your own.
It's like that saying. It's always 5 p.m. somewhere, so let's drink.
Because here's the thing. It's like
I feel like being a man is about being principles. I feel like that should govern your decisions as a man.
I guess what Jean is saying is if you think being a man has to do with having principles, then you should probably go for a man with principles. Because that's the only man you respect. But that doesn't mean every other man without principles is not a man. Because
they're not man enough. I mean, if you're not man enough to show up to your kid, like you're a deadbeat dad.
This is so relativist. I'm really enjoying this.
Makes you less of a man than you should be because you're not even responsible for your child. You're a deadbeat. You're a deadbeat, and that actually makes you should revoke your right to call yourself a man because you actually fathered a child and you're not there in their life. Like, you shouldn't call yourself a man.
I think the passion with which you're talking about this is coming from the fact that you're a woman.
And to
a woman, a man that doesn't stand up for his children in the present is not a real man. But men wouldn't care.
But they
shouldn't have the right to call themselves men. They should call themselves puny and lambistic shit.
But according to
they come for their whips.
According to who?
The women? Who gives a fuck about that?
That's the thing. It's like, by the way, FYI, I actually agree with you. A man should step up and take responsibility. But logically speaking, women do not have a right to judge men by their own sticks.
What you're forgetting is being a man is actually, as a woman, I will admit, is the most divine thing a human being can be given. The status of being a man, yes.
That's low-key
I feel like
we're talking about the opposite.
I'm not.
That's
this is what I'm saying.
If the most divine thing you can want to be is a man, then being a woman makes you inferior in some way.
Now, I'm a woman, but you're speaking on my behalf right now.
Yeah, but that's my point.
You didn't let me finish.
Okay, fine.
So.
Yeah. Go ahead. No, please finish your point. I think it's an interesting conversation.
I feel with great freedom comes great responsibility. That's like a baseline.
The actual line from the Spider-Man movie is great power.
That's baseline, okay?
But I mean, she makes it.
I feel like in the past, when we were like early men and women, a woman would give birth to a child and she's the primal caregiver. Like, nature takes its course when it comes to the roles that we are playing. And let's say the major role is to reproduce, right? how will this reproduction happen? The woman is the one
Well,
to carry
according
the
to nature,
child.
yes.
Yeah, according to nature, the woman is the one to carry the child.
But it has to be someone.
And nature will give the person with that responsibility the instincts to be caring, to be mothering, so that this child can actually survive from the instinct of being extremely careful with
let's
how that
personify nature here.
and when it comes to the man, his instinct is to protect these ones, because if this one is basically dedicating her time to making sure this one survives, I mean, his instinct is to protect the boundaries and make sure that everything is okay.
So,
I feel like this also, I don't want to digress from the topic, but marriage made sense before Tambo, because the families that were together were stronger when it comes to the survival of the children.
Can we conclude that from an
in
evolutionary perspective?
A
being
man
is sticking to your.
I feel like nature gave men so much, because the responsibility they had was really huge, and nature gave men muscle strength so that they're physically able to defend.
Nature didn't give them anything. They just evolved to be
I'm a woman. Why do I have hips? It's because it's good for it's good for carrying a child. Like, you actually evolve into the role that you're supposed to play.
No, you're not supposed to play. It's just like whatever helps you survive.
But
now you're thinking like me.
Yeah,
what
nature doesn't have a direction. Evolution doesn't have a direction. We don't evolve from worse to better. We just evolve to whatever needs to survive.
What does the survival for the fittest mean?
There's no such thing. That's actually a myth. Survival of the fittest is not how evolution works.
If there are polar bears in the Arctic that are brown, they're gonna get spotted easily by a predator.
Yeah, but
the one that is white is gonna survive.
Ones are better. It just means that they survive in that environment. We don't evolve from worse to better. We just evolve to whatever we need to be to survive.
But the brown ones are gonna go extinct because they're gonna get predated on more than the white ones.
Yeah, but they're gonna survive in the south. You take them to the south, they'll survive. So are grizzlies or polar bears better? Neither.
My point is,
they just evolve to survive in their respective environments.
Yeah. My point is the environment that was there at the time made men evolve into something. Okay?
And we're about to evolve into the end.
And the evolution that men went through gave them so much. Like, honestly, men are the most creative when it comes to technology.
Really are, actually.
When it comes to technology, when it comes to, like, a man's mind is very expandable. And
mine is.
And even religions look at a man as a leader. Yeah? Religions look at a man like some kind of sounding board. Like, he's more rational, he's more decisive.
I'm glad you admit that.
Do you think God is a man?
He's more logical.
If he exists?
He's more logical.
I think God would want us to close this show, guys.
Okay, to cut the long story short, I feel like if when you get the responsibility of being a man, like, just know that you shouldn't, like, fuck around, find out.
That's what most
men
do.
You're born,
they fuck around.
But they never
find out.
They never find out who the kids are.
Yeah, you find out, like being a man actually comes with a lot of responsibility and there's consequences to actions.
Just to make it clear, Cynthia, I think Jean and I both agree with you. On a principle level, but on a logical level, it's bullshit.
It's bullshit.
It's like when you say I believe in a God, but you're logically, I know it's bullshit to say God exists or doesn't.
I'm just saying women wear pants, you don't wear dresses. Why is that? Like, you're
speak for yourself. Speak for yourself. Bahati.
And even then,
because as a man, there's a certain. Women are more free to make any decision.
Listen, guys, there's also culture, right? The Celts wear kilts. Why do we call them kilts? They're skirts. They're just called kilts. It's traditional, right?
I used to know this person.
Okay, you wear a kilt. Wear a kilt tomorrow. You're gonna do it. You're not gonna do it.
It's not culturally.
It's a culture thing.
You're not gonna do it.
It's not a man.
Okay, you're defending it, and you're gonna do it. Will you wear a kilt?
Okay, here's another one. In the West, it's quite okay. Wait, one more. Here's another. In the West, it's quite okay for men to hug each other. Here in Kenya, it looks weird.
It's not really that weird. If you're old, it's okay. They can hold hands.
Okay. Well, how old though?
Sister.
I need to know.
Guys.
So I don't do it before the time.
Take care of yourself. See you on the next one. Stay safe.
This was the most heated debate we've ever had.
It was hotter than...
Bye, guys. This was the Purge Shack, the Manly Shack.
The Manly Shack, the Masculinity Shack.
Depends on your definition. But awesome.
Be real, man. Don't abandon your kids. Cynthia said so.
Fuck around, but don't find out.
Wear sure condoms.
Fuck around, but make sure you also find out. What the fuck? Yeah, anyway, we're done.